Hi, Susana. Good evening.
Hi, Miss.
Okay, Susana, let me share my screen and turn my camera on. Please do the same. Okay, can you see my screen? I want to see how you did in my English lab. Yeah, all right, give me one moment. I don't know what's going on. What about now? You see it? Yes?
Sí, Miss.
Okay, great. So that's the great book, all todas las notas. So I just wanted to show you. Do you remember your username? It was a student 2, I believe.
30.
Or 30, all right. So that's your score. Just a reminder, no? You have everything, I think, no? That's good. So, yeah.
A
So,
job for Talia, no.
oh, the exercises for the unit A3, yes, there are some of them are missing. Okay, so for the unit 4 is already available. So you have it all them up here. So you have them in assignment already. I just wanted to mention this because remember this module ends on Friday. So I need all of these exercises done for you guys, the A4, no? And there are 33, I think. And I guess on Wednesday, I'm going to assign the quiz for this unit, no, the A4, and also the model quiz, ¿ok? Entonces lo voy a decir en castellano para que se entienda. Yo estoy con ventilador, mis disculpas, no sé si tal vez no deja escuchar muy bien. Pero este módulo termina el A4, que está disponible desde hoy hasta el viernes. Bueno, todo el curso termina el viernes, entonces yo necesito que terminen todo hasta el viernes. Por eso que se había dicho desde un principio, ¿no? Aquí tal vez podemos ser flexibles, se les puede dar más tiempo, etcétera. Sin embargo, esta última semana no, porque yo necesito entregar notas apenas termine el curso, ¿ok? Entonces, tal vez puedes ir trabajando de a poco en los ejercicios para que no te pise el tiempo, porque además voy a asignar el quiz, que todavía no lo puedes ver, y el quiz final del módulo. Para los quizzes, como se les explicó en la primera clase, siempre tienen 2 oportunidades de trabajar, ¿no es cierto? Sin embargo, para el quiz final del módulo, en el que van a ver contenido de todas las unidades, se trabaja un poquito más de tiempo, el contenido es más, no difícil, pero como implica todo lo que se ha visto, no implica un poco más de, tal vez, esfuerzo. No quiero decir difícil, no es difícil. Sin embargo, no te tienes que acordar todos los temas. Y puede ser un poco, tal vez, uso entre comillas, ¿no? Porque es bastante contenido. Entonces, para este quiz solo tienen una oportunidad. Entonces, eso es bien importante que lo tomen en cuenta. El tiempo es una hora. Creo que no es más de eso. Pero voy a fijar de todas formas. Solo lo pueden tomar una vez. Entonces se equivocan. Si tienen una nota muy baja, lamentablemente se respeta, ¿no? Porque es un examen propiamente dicho, ¿no? y vale, es el mayor puntaje de todo el módulo, entonces por eso se recalca tanto, ¿no?
Miss,
Entonces,
una consulta.
sí,
Bueno, en mi caso, anoche no me alcanzó el tiempo porque era hasta las 11:30. A Job salía las prácticas. ¿Eso lo puede extender o ya no?
se podría extender tal vez hasta el final del día de hoy, pero como se les ha explicado, o sea, es un poco complicado siempre estar con retrasos, ¿no? No esperen hasta el último día para hacer los ejercicios. O sea, es medio complicado en el sentido de que, por ejemplo, tú tienes de esta unidad, te voy a mostrar, para que entiendan la lógica y no digan, uy, no, pero sí es fácil, no. O sea,
Ujú.
lo que pasa es que a mí los ejercicios me parecen todos. Ven de la unidad, me parece A1, A2, A3, o sea, no se separa. Me salen todos. Entonces, si yo te doy a alargar el tiempo de uno, me da tiempo de alargar el tiempo o ampliar el tiempo para todos. Entonces, no sé si se desconfigura o configura acá, pero a mí no me sale la opción de escoger cada uno, ¿me entiendes? Si podemos habilitar cámaras, por favor, así no me siento que estoy hablando sola. Gracias. Entonces, si yo te voy a y tú me dices, no encuentro, no hay, porque, o sea, acuérdense, no, esta es una plataforma, no siempre es perfecta, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, piensen que van a haber situaciones a veces que hay error. Por ejemplo, Fabiana me decía ayer, no sé qué ha pasado, estaba trabajando y me han faltado 4 ejercicios, he cerrado todo y no sé qué hacer. Yo, uy, no, o sea, yo no soy administradora de la plataforma, yo no sé, yo no podría ayudarte a solucionar ese problema. O sea, lo único que te podría decir, hazlo otra vez, ¿no es cierto? Porque yo no controlo, digamos, los ejercicios, ni estoy ahí pendiente, ni me sale error, ay, estos estudiantes no han podido trabajar, nada, cero. Yo lo único que asigno, veo notas, cuadro, promedio, perdón si se me está cortando. Entonces, ¿qué pasa, por ejemplo, si tú me dices ahorita este A4, A3, perdón? Tengo 3 ejercicios, ¿no es cierto? ¿Dónde estás? Tengo 16. No, mentira, sí, 16. Entonces, si yo te amplío desde la manera general, como yo puedo ahorita, y no te sale, te tengo que reasignar, lo que implica que estos 16 ejercicios se van a perder. Te va a reasignar de cero, ¿se entiende? Porque ya pasó el tiempo, entonces a veces, cuando está en el tiempo, todavía digamos que tienes hasta las 11 de hoy, cuando todavía está el tiempo y falta, yo ahí lo puedo acomodar y pasa el tiempo de trabajo y yo ya no puedo, me sale todo, desde el principio hasta el final, entonces, si tú me dices, dice no veo, o teacher no veo, tengo que reasignar y vas a perder estos 16 ejercicios. ¿No? Entonces, esos son algunos de los problemas que existen cuando dejas pasar el tiempo de trabajo para que vuelva a reasignar. Entonces, yo lo único que podría hacer sería ampliar, pero no sé cómo se va a salir a vos, porque ya pasa el tiempo de trabajo. ¿Me entiendes? Entonces, para los exámenes, sí se reasigna, no hay problema si no lo has trabajado, lo trabajas de cero, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, ok, Fabiana, no problem. So, that's the thing, ¿no? Entonces, hay un poquito se arriesgan ustedes. Ahora, lo ideal es que trabajen de a poquito, ¿no? En la semana, para que no se les acumulen y no trabajen el último día. Esta semana, y con eso termina este grupo, bueno, y mi otro grupo igual termina, lo que implica que yo hasta les he asignado ya, si revisan en assignment, ya tienen la A4, ¿sí? Del libro del día, ¿no es cierto? Y yo hasta el viernes tengo que terminar con ustedes todo, porque yo tengo que entregar nota sábado. Entonces yo no les puedo ampliar más tiempo. Después si me dicen, no he podido trabajar, me ha pasado eso, me ha pasado lo otro. O sea, es que ustedes tienen que organizar su tiempo para hacerlo antes de tiempo. No se confíen al último día, porque muchas veces poco o nada yo puedo hacer, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, eso tomen en cuenta, por favor. Estas semanas no va a haber ningún tipo de ampliación. Ya les he dicho desde la primera clase, porque yo necesito sacar notas y eso demora. Entonces, si no lo terminan hasta el día viernes, lamentablemente, ¿no? Okay. ¿Alguna consulta, pregunta al respecto? Como te dije, Susana, yo te voy a ampliar el tiempo hasta medianoche y obviamente les tengo que ampliar a todos, pero yo no sé cómo te va a salir aquí, ¿no? Eso lo tienes que revisar. Entonces, ojalá Y si no, depende de vos si tú me dices, no, asígnamelo nomás todo, se van a perder esos 16 ejercicios que tienes. No, porque cuando se es como si no hubieras hecho nada y otra vez te vas a salir desde un principio. ¿Ya? Entonces, eso sería, I don't know if there is any questions. Los quizzes los voy a habilitar yo creo desde el miércoles para que los trabajen con calma. Y solo el último recordatorio que solo estaba hablando con Susana porque han llegado tarde David y Fabiana. Eh, ¿Qué era, chicos? El quiz final dura 10 minutos más, dura 1 hora y tiene un mayor puntaje, saben, 40%. 30 son los assignments, 30 los quizzes de unidad y el module quiz, que es el examen final, digamos, vale 40% y solo tienen una oportunidad de trabajar. Pasa algo, no sé, ¿no? Me fue mal, saqué un 30, ni modo. No, esa es la nota. Porque es un examen propiamente dicho. ¿Ok? No es difícil, sin embargo, requiere, ¿no? De que se sienten y trabajen con calma. Les pisa el tiempo, se manda automáticamente, por si acaso. Ya así como está, se mandó y bueno, esa es su nota, aunque no lo hayan terminado. ¿Ok? Entonces, eso sería, no sé si hay alguna otra duda, consulta antes de que comencemos con with today's class.
Profe, una pregunta. ¿Cuándo daríamos este final?
Ustedes lo pueden dar en el tiempo que quieran, como saben, eso ustedes lo pueden trabajar en cualquier momento del día. Tienen hasta el viernes. Yo lo voy a habilitar, les decía, el miércoles, creo, para que tengan tiempo de trabajar. El miércoles, para que lo puedan trabajar hasta el viernes, ¿no? Yo creo que es buen tiempo. Ahora, si quieren que lo habilite ya nomás, tampoco me hago lío. Pero para eso necesitan avanzar igual a 4. Entonces, por lo menos jueves, viernes esperaría, ¿no? En su caso, para ver todo el contenido, pero igual se puede trabajar, ¿no? Es los contenidos, por si acaso, de la semana. Hoy vamos a ver tag questions. Siempre el contenido o el tema, se van a la unidad y se van a grammar. Eso es lo que vamos a trabajar en esta semana. Hoy vamos a hacer tag questions. On Wednesday, we are going to see adjectives and adverbs. And on Friday, articles A and D, which is very easy, right? Okay, guys. Any other question? Díganme los exámenes para que saben cómo es uno. Any other question, maybe? No? Okay. Let's start with today's class. We're going to do a couple of exercises before I explain today's class so you have an idea. And let me share my screen. It's just logical, so don't get too scared if you don't understand totally. It's okay. As we always do, there will be one secretary, male or female. And what we're going to do is to do matching, okay? These things at the end, do I, does she, is it, are they, etc. These are called tag questions. So just try to match the first part of the question with the tag at the end. If you understand very good, it's fine, no worries. Just try to match. Usually they follow the same tense, no? If it's present, it's usually present. If it's future, it will be future. All right? Any questions? Let's start with these guys.
No, teacher.
Okay, great. Let's start, guys, please. Who can share their screen? Maybe David?
Yo estoy de mi celular.
Okay, that's fine. That can help today, I think. Okay, so let's learn, guys. Let's try to understand a little bit. And I'm here if you need any questions.
Okay. Maybe I can start and next one of the other classmates. Maybe the first one is, I don't look tall, do I? Susana?
She doesn't love him, I think.
Fabiana?
I'm
Oh,
thinking.
no, sorry. She wasn't around, sorry.
Okay. Fabiana?
Maybe they didn't like it. Did they?
They didn't like it. What?
Did they?
Did they? Ah, yeah, okay. Maybe. Are you? You can trust him, are you?
No. You won't tell her, will you?
She doesn't love him, does she?
We shouldn't worry, should we?
Okay, Fabiana.
Maybe you are not eating pizza. This piece of pizza, are they?
You're not thinking of it. He's not sick, is he?
It isn't bad news, is it?
Okay, that's one.
Okay, let's check. All right, that's not good. That's not bad at all. This exercise, we're going to do a speaking exercise. Just try to guess. After seeing some of these tags, what do you think? Let's see, David, I'm going to ask you, well, I'm going to do the example and then you're going to continue, all right? So David, you have a BMW, don't you?
No, I don't have one.
All right, good. So you're going to do the same, you're going to add some, all right? Let's see, we're going to eliminate and let's continue. Remember to add the tag at the end. Try to guess. If you don't remember, just try to guess. Maybe Fabiana or, well, yes, Fabiana. You can ask that to anybody.
Yes, teacher, it needed a new house. I don't understand the finished part, the last part.
The tag part,
Yes,
the tag question, yes. So
before
I really
this.
Sorry, my internet. So it, depending of the question, at the end, we add don't you, didn't I, etc. But it's fine. Let me show you an example. Can you hear me, guys? I'm sorry, I think my internet is a little bit slow.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Miss.
All right. So I'm going to show you a block of tag question examples. Okay, hopefully you can see it. Okay, there. So when we are making questions and we want to agree with someone, we can add at the end this little tag. No, isn't it? She's at school, isn't it? We are happy. Am I? Am I in the park? Are they? But that's what the first exercise was about, no? But it's fine if you didn't understand very good. Maybe I will explain first, and then we can continue with this exercise. All right, so, and then we'll continue with this. So these questions, the little thing that we add at the end of the question, it's basically to check the information. For instance, here are going, well, in the whole presentation is going to be marked with red. So maybe David, you can be Nick, and Fabiana, you can be Talia. Please, guys, turn your cameras on. So David, you're Nick, and Fabiana, you're Talia.
Okay, I know you. I know you, don't I?
Mm-hmm. Fabiana. Yeah. Susana, please continue. Talia.
Yes, I'm Talia Santos.
All right, thank you very much. So this little thing at the end of the question, it's called tag question. It's basically to check the information. No? I know you, don't I? Not the order, pay attention to the order, don't I? And the other person goes, yes, I am Talia. In this example, Talia thinks that knows Talia. Oh, Nick, sorry, Nick thinks that knows Talia. And he uses tag to see if he no, it's basically, I know you, right? It's the same thing. I know you, right? However, the tag question is a little bit more, maybe not formal, but it's a little bit more specific. And we have many tag questions. It's not just one, like right or no, right? So let's see some of the other examples. Okay, so this is called a tag question. It always goes at the end of the question. And I like I mentioned, no, this I know you, don't I? This don't I means like I know you're right. So it's the same. However, this is too common. This is too specific to general. So sometimes we can use also tag questions. Let's continue. We can also use questions to make a comment. So it's not always a question, even when it's called tag question, no? And we don't necessarily expect an answer. So we usually think the person is going to agree with us. It's like, it's, I don't know, it's hot, right? Or it's cold, isn't it? That's all. We're not asking the person if it's actually hot or cold, right? So let's see, David, could you read this example, please?
I told you the truth, didn't I? It'll be fair, really, you can trust me.
All right. So it's just making a comment, right? It's like making a comment himself. No, I told you the truth, didn't I? Like it's thinking to themselves. And then it continues. No, I'll be fair, really. You can trust me. So it's not necessarily making a question. Sometimes it's just a comment. And obviously he's not expecting Nick to answer. It's just not like, oh, do you agree? That's all. Like we're right? Any questions so far? We have two uses of tag questions so far. Actually making questions and just making a comment to see if the other person agrees with us. That's all. No? Yes? Okay. The first example, let's go back. It was, I know you, don't I? What tense it is? Is it present, past, future?
Maybe it's the present teacher.
Yes, thank you very much, David. It's just present, no? How do we know we are using the auxiliary verb? It's simple present tense or present tense. In the second example, what tense is it, David?
The past.
Past, yes, again, it's simple past, right? How do I know that? Because I'm using an auxiliary verb, did. I use do for present simple, like auxiliary verb, right? And I use did for past simple. So here is past simple. No, so whatever tense we're using, we kind of like follow the same word or auxiliary verb or modal verb, like you will see in a moment, if following the same tense. So whatever tense we're talking about, we completed with that tense. All right. And what else? What I mentioned, no? When they're not asking a question. Even when we have a question mark, it's not really making a question, doesn't expect a response. All right. To use it so far, actually making questions and then just maybe expecting someone to agree with you. That's all. Hey, Fabiana, we see you from 2 places. Okay, so attack question is made of a statement and a tag, right? And a statement is what you are maybe making a comment on, or maybe what you want to know about, comma, and then a tag. Let's see another example. Fabiana, could you read that, please? I think she's still having some internet problems. Susana, could you read it, please?
Yes, me. I know you, don't I? I know you is a statement and don't I is a tag.
Great, thank you very much. So I know you, like, it's just a statement, no? You're affirming something, and then don't I is the tag. And here is a question, right? And also notice that the subject of the tag is the same as the subject of the statement, no? I, no? So let's see, David, Ricardo, David, could you read the second example, please?
You were in my class, weren't you?
Excellent, thank you very much. So for instance, in the first example, I'm talking about myself. No, I know you, don't I? No, I'm talking about myself in an action which is known, someone. In the second example, what is the subject? Who are we talking about?
Maybe about. Sorry, teacher, I didn't understand.
Yeah, the subject is any person we're talking about. You are a subject, David, Susana, my cat, my friends, my family, no? Any person, it's the subject. In the first example I was mentioning, the subject is myself, no? Because I'm talking about myself, I know you. No, even when I'm talking about someone else, no, but I'm talking about me. If I know someone, I know you, don't I? The subject in this first example, it's myself. That's why I'm repeating the subject 2 times. I and I. In the second example, what will you say is the subject?
And maybe it's you.
Yes, because I'm concentrating the whole idea, the question, the comment about that person, no? You were in my class, even when I'm mentioning something about myself, no, but I'm concentrating the whole thing about someone else, no? You were in my class, weren't you, right? So we are repeating the same subject in the statement. Remember, this is a statement and this is the tag. So that's why it says this part. Notice that the subject of the tag is the same subject of the statement. Okay, so the same. Maybe Susana, can you replace you with a name, any name? Both you change it with the same name, please. It might not make totally sense, but it's fine.
Paola were in my class. Were in you or were in Paola?
Yes. I know it doesn't really make too much sense. It's fine. However, whatever we're talking about in the statement, we repeat it in the tag. Okay, the same person goes in both. In the tag, this is the tag, right? And in the statement. Statement is going to have an action, right? In this case, it's where, right? In this statement, the action is no, right? Okay, any questions so far, guys? It's not too difficult. However, we're going step by step to understand, right? It might be a lot of information, but we're going to practice, no worries. Okay, so far what we're seeing, I used the question tags to make actual questions or to make or to maybe mention something, and I'm expecting someone to agree with me, right? It's not necessarily a question. What else did I explain? That whatever tense I'm using or expressing in the statement, I also use in the tag, right? I follow the same tense. And I also seen that the same subject that I talk in the tag, I also use it in the statement or vice versa, right? It's always about the same person, no? And what else? Okay, only use in the tags. Okay, pronouns are no, he, she, it, no? So we don't repeat the same word, right? We do that a lot. So maybe Fabiana, I'm not sure if maybe now you can hear us. Could you read this third example, please?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's your internet, no? Turn your camera off, it's fine.
Okay, teacher. Amy, Nick was in your class, wasn't he?
Excellent, thank you very much. So in this example, we are talking about Nick, right? And then we are referring to the same person, to Nick, he, but we don't mention the same again. No, we can use the tag if we want to, but just in the tag, not in the statement. He was in your class, wasn't he? No, no, we should use the pronouns just in the tag. All right, so when we want to mention the person, no, the name of the person or the thing or the it, whatever, we mention the pronoun at the end of the tag. All right, so any questions so far, guys? Okay, so this is incorrect. When we're mentioning the name, the thing, the it, whatever, remember singular or plural, in the statement, in the tag, we don't mention the name again. So if we say Nick was in your class, wasn't Nick, it's incorrect, right? However, we are representing or we are using a pronoun that is also using or referring to the same person, which is Nick, right? Nick was in your class, wasn't he? Right? We're referring to the same. For instance, Susana did it correctly in the first example, right? When you replace the names, was correct. But remember, we're referring to the same person. Just don't mention the name twice. No. In the tag, we should write or we should use the pronoun. He, I, she, they, whatever. But just when I'm mentioning the name, the proper name here. Now, if I'm already mentioning a pronoun here, I use the pronoun at the end too, right? But if it's just I'm mentioning the name in the statement, I can use this pronoun in the tag. I don't repeat it like at the end. No, Nick was in your class, wasn't Nick. That's incorrect. All right, let's continue. Okay, And when the statement is the other way around, okay? When the statement is affirmative, the tag is negative. Let's see an example. Susana, could you read it, please?
You were in my class, weren't you?
So here we're seeing an example of a negative tag when the statement is affirmative, right? You were in my class is affirmative. And weren't you is negative. No, remember we always use contraction, always. It's how we speak in English. And this is an exception. When we talk about yourself, we don't follow the regular logic for the verb be. So for instance, if I am talking about I am, for example, here, I am right, aren't I? That's how we use it, no? We don't use am I or isn't I? No, we use aren't I. All right, this is an exception. Am I right, aren't I? No. Okay, let's continue. And if the statement is negative, the tag is affirmative. So it's the other way around, guys. Let's see, David, could you read this one, please?
You weren't in my class, were you?
Mm-hmm. So is the statement negative or affirmative?
It's negative.
Yes, and is the tag affirmative or negative?
The tag is affirmative.
Yes, great. So it's the affirmative blue negative, the green one negative. All right. So it's the other way around. Always remember that. If the statement is affirmative, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is affirmative. All right, it's always like that. It cannot be the same. It cannot be the same. Okay. Well, you already know you weren't making it negative. Where you is affirmative. Any questions so far, guys? Okay, it's not really that complicated. It just takes practice. Now, this is the important part, guys. This is the rule. So you might want to take some notes here. Okay, so how do I form? How do I know when I use was, where, are, is, aren't? No, how do I know? In the tag always has a form of the verb be or an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verbs are sometimes called helping verbs. No, we already know that. In present simple, for instance, like I mentioned before, is do, right? For past simple is did. We also have some other ones, such as be, or we have, right? None of the tenses, no? Be, been, have, had, has, right? And the modal verbs, we've seen, if I'm not wrong, should so far. Now these are called modal verbs because they have a specific meaning. Some of them doesn't have any meaning at all, and they act on the verb, right? Such as will or would, etc. So these auxiliary verbs such as do, we or have, and modals such as can, could, should, and will, we can use them for these question tags. Let's see an example. So if the statement has a verb be or an auxiliary verb, we use the same verb in the tag. Let's see an example. David, could you read the first one? Fabiana, the second one, and Susana, the third one, please.
Okay. You're a big soccer fan, aren't you?
Fabiana. Okay, Susana.
Yes, Miss. You don't trust me, do you? We can meet again, can we?
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right. So in these examples, we're seeing these are auxiliary verbs, right? Are, aren't, no, they come from the verb be. Do or don't do, are coming from the auxiliary verb do, right? Remember, we use the other way around, right? If it's my statement is affirmative, my tag is negative. If my statement is negative, my tag is affirmative, right? Same thing here. So in the case of getting any verb, no, I use the same one in the tag and following the same tense. What tense is the first and second question? What tenses have? Can you hear me, David?
No, teacher, I didn't hear you well.
All right, I'll repeat the question, no worries. So in the first and the second sentence, what tense are they using?
Then the first one is affirmative. Is it?
Okay, the tense, present, past, or future.
Okay, is the present. I think
Okay, the second one.
That is the present.
All right. And in the last one, what can you say? What do we have here?
Okay. Maybe it's the present as well, teacher.
Yeah, it could be present. However, we're using a modal. And remember, for modal verbs, we always use the verb in the base form, right? Can meet, could meet, should meet, will meet, right? It's always the base form of the verb with any of the modal verbs. That's the general rule, all right? So it could be considered as present, no? But we know that could is past, will is future, would is future, right? So you have to just simply have to pay attention to the verb. That's all. So whatever verb you were using in the first one, we use the same one in the tag. That's all. So for instance, here we have you are. No, the verb is are. So we use are in the tag. In the second one, we're using do, the auxiliary verb do. So we use the same one for the tag. And finally, we have one of the modals. So I have the modal, I use it in the tag. All right? So that's all. That's the logic. It's quite easy. You just have to find or recognize the verb or modal verb and the tense. That's all. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Is there any question?
No, teacher.
All right. So it's not really that complicated. We just have to practice. All right. So finally, remember, if the statement, usually this is the general rule. If the statement does not have either a form of be or an auxiliary verb, we use a form of do, and we can use do in present or past. We can use do, does. All right. Let's see an example. Susanna, could you read it, please? Both of them.
I know you, don't I? We studied together for the final, didn't we?
Excellent. Thank you very much. So for the example here, we have other verbs, right? I have the verb know, which is in present, right? Know, base form of, well, it's present. I know you. And because I don't have an auxiliary verb, remember the auxiliary verbs are have, be, do. I don't have neither of them, right? This is another one. And it's the rule says if I have another verb and it's not either a modal verb, no, I use do. And because it's present, I use the modal, sorry, the auxiliary verb do in present. All right. So in the second example, what tense is it, David? In the second example, what tense are we using?
Maybe the verb is studied, so we use do. Or,
yes. Yes. What tense is this? Present, past, or future?
It's past.
Past, right? It's past simple. So we studied together. for the final. So because it's a verb in past tense, it's not an auxiliary verb, it's not a modal verb. I use do in this case, past, not did. We studied together for the final, didn't we? Right? We repeat the subject. Always remember that. Subject, same subject. Subject, same subject. The verb, it is different of any other verb, auxiliary or modal verb. I use do in the tense. I respect the tense. If I have the verb, any of the verbs, I'm gonna go back, okay? If I have any verb here, I repeat the same verb. Not the verb is the action. It could be the verb be, it could be an auxiliary verb, or it could be a modal verb. So whatever, I use it again in the tag. You are, aren't you? Don't you? Don't do you? We can, can't we? And always remember that rule. If the statement is affirmative, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is affirmative. It's always the other way around, no? So hopefully it's clear so far, guys. And just the last part, the last thing that I want to about this, the tense is the same for both the verb and the statement and the verb in the tag. It's always the same tense. Present, present. Past simple, past simple. All right? So any questions? Guys? Okay, it's not really that complicated. However, it might take a little while to recognize. So let's see another basic exercise. Maybe now, Fabiana, you can share your screen. You can turn off your camera if you're having some internet problems, Fabiana. It's fine. Okay, so I will share the link. Maybe Fabiana, you can share it. It's just this one. We get some statements and then the tags. Just choose between the tag that makes more sense. That's all. All right, I'll stop sharing my screen and let's work on this exercise. And then we're going to play a game. Okay, thank you, Fabiana. Let's take turns, guys. It should work now. Let's wait a little bit. All right, there it is. There you go. Let's take turns. Okay, maybe Fabiana, you can start, please.
Okay. You stay in school. Aren't you? So, David?
You like ice cream, don't you? The A.
Susana?
Your friend played hockey yesterday. You didn't she? Great.
You are reading Harry Potter now. Aren't you? David?
Your friend lives in Moscow. Doesn't she / he?
Sorry. Susana?
You went to the cinema yesterday. You went to the cinema yesterday. Didn't you?
You don't like milk. Do you? David?
Your friend didn't visit you yesterday. Um, did she?
Susana?
My turn?
Yes.
You won't write a test, won't you?
This?
Yes, Barbie.
Can she? David? David?
Your friend has come late. Uh, uh, maybe I don't know. I think all of them are incorrect. It should be negative, maybe, but there is no negative option.
Yes. I have the same problem in number 4. Oh, yes, number 4.
Maybe,
This?
maybe yes, but the negative, but we can put the options. Too.
Yeah, you're correct. It was a typo, sorry guys. But it's good that you realize it. Okay, great job guys. So now let's go to Kahoot.it. Let me share my screen. We're going to play a game. We're going to have many different type of exercises. So we're going to see many modal verbs. Okay, so please go to Kahoot.it. I'm writing the page in the chat. You already know the page, right? It's Kahoot.it, and the code is this one, but I'm copy and pasting it in the chat. All right, guys, please join there. Type the game pin, and then write your nickname, and your name will appear here. Okay, missing. David, Diana, Susana. Let's wait a little bit for Susana. Maybe she's having some internet problem.
Miss, creo que no me deja entrar desde el celular, estoy intentando.
Cuando te sales, when you get out of the code of the page, I think it kind of blocks you. I can tell you the code though. Cuando entras a la página, si te dicto el código directamente de ahí, creo que te va a dejar entrar. You wanna try?
Ah, ya mismo. Sí.
Andate a la página y me dices, a ver, te dicto. 914.
1 second, Miss. No
Yes.
carga la página.
Sure. Let's wait a little bit. It's fine. guys make it perfect. Okay, ¿me dices? And I will tell you the code.
No creo, Miss. Voy a entrar de la computadora 2 minutitos, por favor, estoy entrando.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys, let's take this moment to maybe answer some questions about the cards, about the quizzes, about something that maybe you would like to know. Voy a alargar el tiempo por si acaso hasta medianoche. Me van a avisar cómo desaparece si es que alguien no ha terminado. Es más que todo para Susana, que ha tenido problemas para terminar sus ejercicios, y a ver si Fabiana puede terminar.
Ya, mañana sale el arte del jueves, ¿ya? De Malnova. Cerrámelo.
Is there any questions, maybe David or Fabiana?
Teacher, is correct to use, I listen, some people say ain't instead of use isn't.
And yeah, it's a very informal way to speak in American English. It's incorrect, but it's very common with rappers, I will say.
With Roberts? Sorry?
Rappers.
Roberts.
Rappers.
Rappers.
Yeah,
Okay.
like music. And a lot of people, maybe not too educated people, use it.
So
it's
if I
incorrect.
use it in the TOEFL,
Okay. Le daremos a Susana. Tranquila, Susana, estamos charlando. Did you hear that in a song, maybe, David?
no, I heard that in a movie.
Oh, in a movie, yes. It was probably like kind of like maybe teenagers or maybe something like that, no?
Yes.
It's not very common. Like it's not. It sounds bad, but people still use it. It's very common with teenagers or. Well, I don't want to say racist, but
Okay.
I guess, you know, like, yeah, maybe we, but I won't say. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions, maybe, guys? Something about the topic or maybe about the quizzes. A ver si me pueden comentar cuándo preferirían que les habilite los quizzes para que vayan trabajando con calma. Igual tiene que estar hasta el viernes. No les voy a habilitar el viernes, obviamente. Podría ser desde miércoles, pero me gustaría escuchar. What do you think?
I think for Wednesday is fine. It's fine for me.
So you will have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yes.
It's enough time, right?
Yes. Usually I do the exercises at last time. Last exercise I did with 10 minutes to the final time.
Oh, the end line?
Yes, the end line. So it was too much adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what happened? And that happened to me once. I was taking a course on the same page and I was doing a writing exercise. And it was an essay, a proper document. And I sent it seconds before 12 o'clock. I had it until 12 o'clock and it didn't send. And my teacher was very mean and she didn't accept my writing paper. I was very mad. But she explained me later. No, I think it was 11:58 or 59 or something, and it all frozen. The page got frozen, and apparently I sent it, but I didn't. And she told me you cannot wait until the last second. Usually they do this kind of like, I don't know, refreshing things. And I lost a grade. I was very sad, but don't wait until the last minute, guys.
So sad.
All right. Yes, mad mostly. Okay, so let's see. Wait, what is a question tag? Will you read this, please?
Me, teacher?
Yes, thank you.
A tag question is an utterance consisting of a declarative or an imperative clause followed by an interrogative fragment. If the sentence is positive, the question tag must be negative and vice versa.
Vice versa, yes. So it is positive, negative. If the sentence is negative, the other way around, right? So let's see some of the exercises. Okay, why do we use them? Fabiana, could you read this, please? What is the function of a question tag? No, it's not tag, it's tag. Remember, t y un poquito AE, tag. Thank you, Fabiana.
Yes, teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. What is the function of question tag? A tag question is a question added to a declarative sentence, usually at the end to engage the listener, verify that something has been understood, or confirm that an action has occurred.
Excellent, great job. So this is very important. I really like this word, not that to engage the listener. Engage means to make them part of the conversation, maybe to pay attention that, oh, maybe is he or she paying attention to me? No, you're kind of like, oh, am I, is she, are you? No? So it's important to use question tags. It's very common to use. Okay, let's see some of the exercises. The first quiz, double points. Let's see, guys. It's raining heavily, isn't it? Has it? Is it? Hasn't it? All right. Why isn't it? Because I have is here, right? And I use negative in the tag. This is affirmative, negative in the tag. Great job, guys. Next. Let's go to the cinema. Isn't we, hasn't we, can we, shall we? Here we need to choose maybe a modal verb, but you choose. All right. So in this case, shall is representing, it's a very polite way to ask someone or a group of people to do something. Shall we? I'm pretty sure you heard this before. So can we remember, oh guys, remember that can is talking about ability, right? Let's go to the cinema. Can we? Anyone can go to the cinema, right? So it's more like an invitation, like a proper invitation. No, shall we? That's why this one was correct. No correct answers, that's fine, we're learning. Place the answer in the correct order. So you can click on the colors to choose to order the sentence. All right, so maybe Fabian, no, Susana, could you read the sentence, please, the correct order? Are you there, Fabian? Susana, sorry.
Yes, Miss.
It's here.
Open the door with you.
Great, thank you very much. So let's take a really quick look to the modal verbs. I know we just seen one, however, However, we're going to see many of the modal verbs. So these are some of the modal verbs. Shall is not here. Usually shall is more common in British English. But no, when we are talking about ability, we can use can, could. When we talk about permission, can, could, may. Advice should, obligation must or have to, possibility might, can, could, can. All right. So I know we haven't seen them all. So far we've seen just should, but I have an idea that you might recognize some of them, right? So any of these modal verbs can be used in the exercises that we've seen two so far. Now we've seen shall, and now we've seen, let me show you again, will, right? Any modal verb can be used in this question text, all right? Let's continue, guys. Okay, great job, Fabi. Next one, everyone's here. Is it, isn't it, aren't they, are they? Which one is correct? All right, because everyone is plural, and obviously for the structure, we use is, we don't say everyone are here, no, because it's a singular word, we follow by a singular verb, right? However, the idea or the logic is this is a plural verb, right? That's why we use aren't they, because we're referring to many people, not everyone. It's more than just the one person, that's why we use aren't. Why aren't? Because no, affirmative, negative, what is the plural of is? Are, right? And negative. Okay, guys, great job. Quiz. Ali never goes to school late. Doesn't he? Does he? Has he? Hasn't he? What do you think? All right. Ali is a a male name. No, Ali never goes to school late. Does he? Why does? Remember, we use auxiliary verb, the auxiliary verb do. When we have any other verb, we don't have any auxiliary verb or any modal verb in the statement. This is the statement. David, what is the action or the verb in this statement?
Maybe go.
All right, yes. So goes, right? Because it's an eat, no? He should eat,
Yes.
go.
And the
So because we have, yes, sorry.
The statement is negative here, teacher.
Oh,
Because
yes.
it's
Yes,
like
that's right.
never. Ali
Oh.
never goes. That's negative.
That's negative. That's why in the statement we have affirmative.
Yes.
But because we have the verb in affirmative, well, in present simple, we use the auxiliary verb do, right? In this case, we adapted, no, does. Goes, does. Does he?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue, guys. Okay, now you're going to type the answer. The question goes, you'd rather drink water than tea. You'd rather. How can you complete this idea? The apostrophe D is would, by the way. You would rather. Rather means prefer, no? You would prefer drink water than tea. Oh, no one answered this question. Why you didn't answer, guys? Okay, what do you think it is the response?
Teacher, is wouldn't you?
All right, yes. Because what would,
Sorry, I don't have time to type.
I know it's a long word. And in negative, we need the apostrophe, right? Yes. Can you type the response in the chat maybe? So we can see what will you write, will you have right for everyone. Wouldn't you? Yes, excellent. Great job. So that's the correct response because this is a modal verb and well, we respond with the modal verb, right? Excellent. Point for Fabiana. All right. I am an English teacher. All right. Aren't I? I am I. Am I? What do you think, guys? Yes. If you remember, I explained this in the presentation. The form for I am for the tag is always aren't I. That's the rule. No? Just remember that. Am I is the verb be, right? But we don't follow the structure. No, it always goes with aren't. Aren't and am I. No? Obviously, this is in negative, no? Because this statement is in affirmative. This is in negative. Any questions, maybe? Okay, let's continue. Somebody has called me in the morning. Haven't they? Have they? Hasn't he? Has he? What is it? Somebody has called me. Is it has, hasn't, or have or haven't? Because you have both here, right? Have and call. Yes, because we have the auxiliary verb. Remember, the three auxiliary verbs are, and I'm going to write it again, be, do, and have. And obviously have all of them in any tenses. No? So, has. Somebody has called me in the morning. Haven't they? No. Has because he, she, it uses has, no? And the rest use have. That's why the difference, no? Any questions here? No. Next. All right, next one. Okay, you have to type. There was a lot of traffic on the roads this morning. How can you complete this idea? How will you complete? There was a lot of traffic on the road this morning. Okay, so which one is it? Yes. Wasn't. Wasn't there? No, we have the past verb be, right? Was, where, past tense. And we use the same one, just in negative, right? In the tag, we use the older one. We have affirmative, and then we have negative here. Any questions, guys? All right, next. Don't smoke in the room. Want you? Do you? Don't you? Will you? Don't smoke in the room. Will you? No, this is more like a statement. Not like, no, don't use this. No, don't smoke in this room. Will you? Like, I know it might not make too much sense, but it's like, no, wouldn't you smoke in this room? Like, no. But it's because it's referring to the future. That's why we use it. Okay, next one. Nobody lives here. Do they? Don't they? Does he? Doesn't he? All right. David, could you read us the question, please?
Nobody lives here, do they?
Mm-hmm. Nobody. Mm-hmm. No, nobody. All right, great, thank you. Next one. I have a lot of money. Which one is correct? Haven't I? Have I? Don't I? Do I? All right. Fabiana, could you read it, please?
Yes, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of money. Haven't I?
Mm-hmm. Don't I? Yes. It's more like an agreement. No, it's not necessarily a question. All right, next. Three left, please. We played football yesterday. How can we complete this statement? Write the tag question or the question. All right, so which one is it? Didn't, right? Why didn't? What do you think it's didn't, David?
Maybe because it's the past
Yes,
and the statement is affirmative.
yes. And also because we don't have any verb here, any auxiliary verb or any modal verb. And when we don't have any of them, we use do, in this case, because it's past tense, did, right? Okay, guys, remember that. So sometimes my students get a little bit confused because they doesn't know what to write there. If you don't find any auxiliary verb or any modal verb, you have to use do, either in present, past, future. Okay, next one, to left, double points. He'd better do his homework. He'd better do this homework. Hadn't he? Had he? Wouldn't he? Would he? What do you think? Have or would? All right. David, could you read it, please?
He'd better do his homework,
Exactly.
hadn't he?
Hadn't he? Because this was referring to have. No, he had better do his homework, hadn't he? Okay. And finally, Okay. Fabiana, could you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. Sarah will arrive tomorrow, won't she?
Excellent. Great job. All right, guys, let's see your positions. Susanna was there. Fabiana second. So let's work on this last exercise. This is a writing exercise. So let's please, if you can turn your camera on, unless you have internet problems. I'm sharing this through the chat. Maybe David can help us with this one. I guess, I think Fabian is having some internet problems. Okay, so we're basically just we're just going to add a tag question tag at the end of the statement. No? So this is the sentence, and here we just add the tag, that's all. Okay, so he is your boyfriend. No question mark. So just read the sentences and add the tags at the end, and when you're done, click on terminado and let's review your sentences. All right, so that's all, guys, for this last exercise. Any questions? No, let's turn your cameras on. And David, could you share this exercise maybe? It's on.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. He's your boyfriend. Isn't he?
Right, what do you think, Fabian?
I think, right, is he your boyfriend, isn't he?
Okay, next one.
Isn't he? Yes. She's your teacher. Isn't she?
We don't write the first part of the sentences. We only write the tag.
I think yes. Teacher, is correct the way I'm writing this?
Maybe you can zoom in a little bit. I cannot see it. Isn't he? Yes. E is ISN apostrophe T. ISN. It's correct.
It's correct. Okay. So Fabiana, you can respond.
Okay, it's your dog, isn't it?
Isn't it? Okay. They are your siblings, aren't they? Okay. Bien.
They are your sister's best friends, aren't they?
Aren't they? These are your Chinese textbooks. Yeah,
Or aren't these? Maybe. I don't know.
yes, I'm not sure. These or they.
Because we talk about the textbooks and are a thing, and when talk about thing, use it or this, or maybe
Okay.
are. So
I
those
would
are
say this, I think. Okay. I'm not sure. But
those are your chores, are not those.
And those?
Yes.
Okay. He's your classmate. Uh, is isn't they isn't he?
That is your mother. Is not she?
Isn't she? Okay. This is your cell phone. Isn't it?
Okay, let's
Okay.
check, guys.
Mm. Oh,
The first one, yes. All right, which one do you have incorrect?
this.
Chinese text. Let me check. Chinese text. Oh, aren't they? What did you got? Oh,
And
aren't
this.
yes, aren't they? It's just because it's simply if there are the existence of them, no? Which one? The next one, no? He's your classmate, isn't he? Oh no, these are your chores, sorry. Aren't they? Same thing, no? Aren't they? And then the last one is, that is your mother. Isn't she? Remember we use apostrophes. In the last one, on the bottom, yes. That is your mother. Isn't she? All right, guys. So let's practice the first exercise that we were trying to practice before. It's a speaking exercise. So let's start with David. Could you read a sentence? Oh, well, let's speak. Okay. So could you read a question, please, David, and complete with a question tag?
Okay.
Thank you.
The shops aren't open late tonight. Are they?
Excellent. Yes, great. Affirmative, well, negative and then affirmative. All right. Next one. Well, we're going to eliminate, okay? Fabiana.
Okay.
All right, Fabiana.
I saw you at the mall yesterday.
Mhm.
Did did you?
I saw
Sorry,
you.
didn't you?
Excellent. Yes, because we have a affirmative and then negative, and because we don't have auxiliary verbs or modal verbs, we use do. In this case, did. Excellent. Great job. Susana, next one.
They don't live far from here. Viven. ¿Qué?
What tense is this, Susana? Present, past, future.
Present.
Okay. So we follow the same tense. So they don't live far from here. We should concentrate in this word, right?
Yes, don't they?
It will be do they because this is a negative and then the tag has to be the other way, no? If this is negative, the tag should be affirmative. So for instance, they don't live far from here. Do they? No, affirmative. Okay, next one. David, your turn. Okay.
If it wants snow tomorrow, is it? I think.
What do you think?
Wants snow tomorrow.
We have this. Is this a verb? Is this an auxiliary verb? It's a modal verb. What do you think?
Will, I'm not sure, teacher. Will it, will be? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's because we have an it. No, the same it remains in the tag too.
So it would be will it?
Will it? It won't snow tomorrow, will it? Yes, great. Always we use the same subject. No, you, here, we, they, etc. All right, great job. David, next one. Fabiana, your turn.
I am a doctor. I am a doctor. Don't I?
We mentioned this in one of the rules that always when we have I am, we use it in a specific way. Do you remember, David?
Maybe
Aren't I?
Yes, exactly. When I use am I or I am, for instance, for the tag, I use it aren't I? That's the rule. It's always like that. I know it doesn't make sense for the verb, but it's like that. No, aren't I? That's how it goes. Thank you very much, David. Next one. And Susana, your turn. What's your turn, Susana? He doesn't smoke cigarettes. Okay, maybe Fabiana, could you respond this one?
Me, teacher?
Yes.
Okay. He doesn't smoke cigarettes. Does he?
Excellent. Yes, because we're using the auxiliary verb do. Obviously negative. We use the other one in the chat. No, does he? Excellent. Great job. Next one. David?
We will never be able to eat pizza, 5 boxes of pizza. No, we'll not. We are sorry.
That's fine. No worries.
We will never be able to eat 5 boxes of pizza. Will not we? Oh, no. Will we? I'm sorry.
What is the negative or will?
Won't. I'm sorry.
Yes. So how would we say?
Won't we?
Yes, excellent. Won't we? Question. Excellent. Great job. Is Susana there?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. How can we improve this idea? Let's rank years. It's affirmative. So the tag is negative, right? Yes, excellent. Don't we? Because it's implying more than one person, no? Great, excellent. Don't we? Next one, guys. David, your turn again. Okay, David. Will you read it, please?
He can drive a truck.
What's the action, or well, the auxiliary verb or modal verb that we can change?
Does he? Sorry,
Is can an auxiliary verb? Or can't?
I'm not sure.
Yes, it is. So can is an affirmative modal verb, and can't, it's negative. So if this is in negative, how can we put this word in affirmative?
Can he?
Yes, excellent. Because anytime we have an auxiliary verb or a modal verb, we just use the same one, no, and we put it in the other way, no? Can he, or would he, or wouldn't he, or might be, or whatever, no? Okay, next one. Thank you very much, David. Great job. Okay, that's it. Fabiana. Okay. Okay, another modal verb, right? How can we respond that?
We could go there tomorrow, couldn't we?
Great. All right. So anytime, I know there are many modal verbs, just pay attention to that. No, don't pay attention first if you find a modal verb or an auxiliary verb. If you don't find them, then you use do. Good, okay? So any questions, guys? That's all for today's class. It's already 7:39. Is there any question? Yes, no?
No, teacher.
Okay, some launching today's polls. Please answer it. La recomendación la voy a hacer en castellano. Les voy a escribir la coordinadora en un momento al grupo. A partir de septiembre son estos cambios que se están haciendo de la asistencia, ¿no? Entonces, ¿qué implica eso? Estar desde el principio de la clase, obviamente, en hora y estar hasta el final con el poll. Es bien importante la encuesta al final porque eso es lo que se registra en cada uno de los perfiles que ustedes tienen. Entonces, no importa que yo tal vez he estado desde el principio o he llegado tarde, en que entre comillas ustedes no deberían entrar si entran tarde, ¿no? Y no he hecho el polls, la encuesta diaria, es como si no hubieran asistido, ¿no? Porque eso va a su asistencia, de su perfil. Cada uno tiene un perfil, ¿ok? Entonces, eso es importante, ¿no? No es solo un ratito, no es solo entrar y ya, ¿no? Es todo. Entonces, nos vamos a ir acostumbrando, tal vez nos va a costar un poquito al principio, chicos y chicas, pero bueno, así es. Ok, muchas gracias, muchísimas gracias por la clase de hoy. Espero que se haya entendido bien, aparentemente sí, ¿no? Según la encuesta. Entonces, los veo mañana en las llamadas y bueno, que tengan una buena noche. Thank you very much, guys. Please work on my English exercises. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, guys. Take care.